Have you ever watched a video and gone, wow, I am on the right track about my health? Well, I just did. And what I realized is I have been making decisions about my health that have kept me safe and healthy, period. In this next video, I'm going to share with you 5 challenges that we have as we age and what I've learned works. What happens as we age is we become more and more comfortable being comfortable. We start buying more comfortable furniture. We start using our recliner more. We start driving to the coffee shop rather than walking. Pretty soon, we start using small chronic complaints in our language. Our back hurts, our knees hurt, and I'm tired. All of us are guilty of this. And part of it is the more we talk about it, the more it becomes part of our language and present in our mind. And here's an example. I found myself saying a lot, I'm just so tired. I'm just tired. And instantly I would become tired no matter what was going on. So I stopped saying it. Every time I said, I'm tired, I would say, no, I'm not. No, I am not. Maybe I'm a little run down at the end of the day. I know it sounds crazy, but language matters. What we say repetitively stays with us. And the more we begin to internalize it and believe it. Another crime of aging is weight gain. And it takes us a while to gain weight. We gain a pound or two every year or two. And pretty soon we've got a lot of pounds on us. We give ourselves permission to eat more ice cream, to get comfortable in the recliner, to not walk as much because, we kind of ache. And then we go and visit the doctor and say, I want to lose weight and I want to lose it fast. Well, I want to remind you, it didn't come on overnight. It took years and years. So why would we expect it to be done in overnight? It puts our body into shock over and over again. It's not training the body to live with the weight loss. Our second challenge is we eat garbage, right? We all do it, admit it. But understand why. Super sad information is 60% of our food is engineered. In other words, it has other things in it that our body didn't ask for, and our body doesn't know what to do with it. A can of beans has preservatives in it, but that's not what's the worst part of the can of beans. What expires isn't the preservatives, it's the plastic that lines the can. It breaks down. The container is going bad. Why don't we eat what's good for us? Because it's easier. Having a TV dinner or a pot roast or going out is so much easier than cooking a full meal anymore. And as we age, we are less inclined to work hard at anything. It's just easier to eat out. Let's talk about stress overload. Here we are, trying to slow down and enjoy retirement, and somehow we seem to be getting even more stressed out. What's going on? Here's what we need to understand about aging. When we're not practicing consistent exercise and eating right, our body chemistry changes. Suddenly, you're way more susceptible to stress than you used to be. Here's another thing. We overuse the word stress. Sometimes we need to say to ourselves, am I stressed or am I angry or am I disappointed? Am I frustrated? Am I confused? Rather than automatically calling it stress. That's the whole thing about words. Using the word stress for every emotion you have invalidates your true feelings. We are being bombarded with information at 17-second clicks and expecting to feel normal about it. And sometimes we just don't handle life well. It's okay. Our hormones and immune systems are affected by stress. How do we help ourselves through that? And then there's the bedtime stories, the sleep disasters, the stories we tell each other at this age about our sleep factor. Most of us don't sleep very well. That is because, one, the stress, and that we are trying to go to sleep at night after watching hours of TV or clicking through thousands of bits of information on our phones or computers, and our mind isn't ready to slow down. I think it's funny you listen to the stories that people tell you about their sleep. But I can remember when I was younger, I used to tell everybody, I'll sleep when I'm dead. That was my motto. I could get away with 5 to 6 hours of sleep. But really, could I? Today, when I have problems sleeping, I know to look at what time I went to bed, what did I eat today, have I left my work at work, whether or not I exercised, have I had one too many cocktails or not enough? So many factors that we don't really consider. We decide we're going to go to the doctor and get a pill. Understand there's many reasons why we don't sleep, and if we get to the bottom of it, we can pretty much find ways to go to sleep, stay asleep, be asleep. We definitely don't sleep well with the TV on or being on the internet, all of that. Those flicks of light affect our lizard brain in ways we will never really clearly understand. As we age, we start to be more solid in who we are and who we want to surround ourselves with. We find that people move out of our lives, other people move in, and we're trying to find solid ground in a little bit of a shaky place because life goes on. And as we age, we are a bit more particular about where we want to spend our time. That includes the people we're with. And so sometimes we end up isolating ourselves. And this can be good, can be bad, but for the whole part, you need to have the connections. I mean, we may have 1,000 friends on Facebook, but we have no one to go and have a cup of coffee with or take a small walk with or a hike. The reason for this is because our families move away, our kids grow up, people go on trips. And so we live vicariously through other people's lives. We watch a lot of TV. We watch TV in series until it gets boring. And no one has neighborhood barbecues anymore. We build fences between our houses. And so as a result of that, we live pretty isolated lives in the society today. And that's why we feel isolated. Let's talk about moving to your own music. Here are some of the things that I've done to help myself with this. I fell not once but twice when I was 68 before I retired. It scared the poop out of me. As a result, I began a journey that I am so grateful for today. I'm grateful to share with you here. After I fell, I was scared, and I realized that my balance wasn't as good as it could be. I also knew for a fact that as you age, balance is a problem you need to work on. We don't do as many stairs, we don't walk as much. So there's this tendency for the muscles in your legs and in your ankles to get a bit lazy. So I started using a vibration table. What happened first is I got really relaxed on it. I started at a very low level and I could feel it all the way up my neck. Like your whole body is just vibrating. Every muscle and joint is moving. And it would even make my nose itch. Over time, I started to feel stronger and I could increase the amount of vibration I was using. And I could feel my legs getting stronger. It was pretty phenomenal. The other thing I found out is, as I read about it, is it's super good for your lymphatic system. It helps to drain your lymph in your body. That's where infection sits when you're not moving your body a lot. The other thing was is that at night when I couldn't fall asleep, I would get on my vibration table and just vibrate for a little while. And then I would be completely relaxed and able to go to sleep again. So that was something that I added into getting myself back into doing something. I was talking to my coach, and in the background of her Zoom call, I could see a treadmill. So I started asking her about her treadmill. And so I bought one. And mind you, I hadn't been doing any yoga for probably 4 years because I had injured my shoulder. I was doing almost no biking because I was fearful of riding my mountain bike anymore because I was afraid of falling over. And so I just wasn't doing exercise and I didn't know how to get myself back in. Using the vibration helped me to feel stronger and balanced. So after I got my treadmill, I was so excited. I bought it in November or December when it was really cold out. And I started it up on it, and I was doing like, I don't know how you measure it, but anyway, 1.2 on it. And I was so excited because I could stay on it for 10 minutes. I told my sister-in-law, who's had a treadmill for her entire life, and she just laughed at me. And she says, well, I run it at 6 for an hour. And I'm thinking, oh my God. But it gave me the incentive to go ahead and step up and do more on it. So over time, I spend about 20 to 30 minutes on it, and I'm going a lot faster than 1.6. My point is, move your body, even if you have to start really easy, very simple. There's a way to do it. Don't go in it and say, oh, I used to run 5 miles, and so I'm going to go run a mile. It doesn't start like that. You say, I'm going to walk a mile, or I'm going to run for 15 minutes, and start small, because I'm telling you, it makes you feel so much better because you become successful and repetitive in your behavior by building it up a little bit instead of going back. And then we feel bad and say, oh my God, I used to run, 5K. I used to be so proud of that. And then I'm thinking, well, I can't even run 5 seconds. So I can't beat myself up for that. I have to find some other way to get that body moving. And I have. As a result of that, I'm doing yoga again. I can walk a mile or two. So start small. Don't make it a big deal. If you can't get outside or don't want to go outside, get a treadmill. They're not that expensive. There's a link below for both of them. Just get on it. That's all. Don't beat yourself up because you've not done it for a long time. And don't jump in it like you're going to run a marathon tomorrow. Start slow and easy. Slow and easy. Stop eating garbage, at least as a regular basis. Let's be honest. Cooking really good meals isn't always going to happen, but here's how I make it work. Here's what I honestly do. Every couple of weeks, I go to the grocery store and I buy 3 kinds of meat. I buy beef, chicken, and fish. And that might include a bag of shrimp. I bring it home, I separate it. I might buy a flank steak and cut it into 4 or 6 pieces. And then I put it in freezer bags. Sometimes I even marinate it, but I make it into 1 meal portions. So even if there's 2 of us or 3 of us, I can just pull out 3 of them. They're all lined up in freezer bags. Then maybe once a week, I'll go and buy fresh vegetables, salad makings, and all I have to do is just pull out the meat, thaw it, and create a salad. Super easy to do. The other thing I do is I will make a big pot of spaghetti or chili or bean soup and break that down into small containers and freeze that. So I can pull that out in the middle of the winter and just add pasta to it if I need it. These are super simple things you can do that take you less than an hour to put together and load your refrigerator once a month. That way, you make it as easy as possible for you to get a meal and you're getting what you need. I pretty much set it up for a month at a time, so I have variety in what I eat. I do occasionally buy, I confess, pot pies and TV dinners, but it's only once in a while, and it's just like on those days and you're just too tired to do anything else, I'll just pull one of those out. But it is not a regular thing for me. On the whole, I try to eat healthier than I used to. I did the South Beach diet for a couple of years, and that got me into this thinking of how to prepare meals and how to, buy in bulk and break it down so that I would have these great meals. And I'm telling you, good meals I have, and keeping it ready for whenever I want to eat it. So be prepared. It's not that difficult to do, and you won't regret it. You take out a piece of steak and you put it in your air fryer, or a piece of chicken and saute it in mushrooms and celery and onions. You can do anything, but you start with the basic, or you can do nothing at all. Eating better makes you feel better, and we deserve to feel great at this age. So what do we do when we manage our stress? What do we do when poop hits the fan? That's really what we're looking for, a solution to what we do when we feel stress coming on and it feels like it's getting out of control. Obviously, we need to step back, take a deep breath, and ask ourselves, what's going on here? How can I see this differently? When I fell at work that time, I actually fell in the same place twice. And suddenly, I was so present in the moment, sitting there on the ground. I wasn't thinking about that I was going to be late to work. I wasn't thinking about where I was. I wasn't even thinking about the cars in the parking lot. I was just sitting there looking at my hands, and they were bleeding, and wondering, okay, what just happened? This is what I want people to understand. When you feel the stress coming on, sure, you can take a pill for it. But really and truly, you need to figure out what's going on. What is happening right now? What is happening to me? Just stop and ask yourself that. And when you're saying, I feel like that guy and that person or whatever the outside thing is going on with you, you need to get into what is happening for you. It's not about them. It's what's happening inside you that's making you react this way. What do I do when I get stressed? I recognize that it's coming. I say something's going on here. I step away from the situation if I can. I take a deep breath. Where is this coming from? I kind of go into me and how to figure out what's going on. And then I find myself calming down. Not always. Sometimes I can't stop it. Sometimes I get angry really fast, but I get over it really quickly and I ask myself, what just happened? So that I can understand it more and it doesn't become guilt or shame. I examine it, find out what's going on. It seems like a crazy thing, but really and truly, if you can stop yourself when you're starting to feel the stress or that feeling that you get, just stop and go, what is happening here? What is happening? Sometimes you won't find the answer, but at least acknowledging that you're aware that something happened or something is happening makes it much easier for you. Your body understands that. The more you practice this awareness of present moment and what's going on, the less stressful you will get in most situations. We spend way too much time being stressed about stuff that isn't really necessary, stuff that we don't have control over. It doesn't make any sense, and we're wasting our time being angry, upset, scared, all this stuff that we put under the guise of stress. Find out what's going on for yourself. Identify it. Instead of saying, I'm so stressed out, say, I'm confused about this. I'm angry with her. I'm angry with myself. I'm disappointed. I'm confused about this. There's so many other questions you can be asking that will help you to understand your stress better. When our body knows that sleep is the best thing for it and that's when we heal, why is our body rejecting it? I was shocked and dismayed as I became older that sleep didn't come readily to me. That was really a surprise for me. I was a 5 to 6 hour sleeper, and as I told you earlier, my motto was I can sleep when I was dead. But those were solid, solid hours of sleep. And I went to sleep very easily. There does come a time in our lives when our body is readjusting to aging, and when our hormones and immune system and our life choices, our exercise and our food affects our sleeping more. I definitely have a hard time sleeping after eating heavy-duty Mexican food. And sometimes I can't sleep if I have indigestion. So much stuff that suddenly the sleep I was getting, no matter how long, was being all broken up. One choice I made was I decided to turn off my TV or any media for at least 45 minutes before I wanted to go to sleep. I could read a book, I could listen to a meditation, I could listen to music, but nothing that was stimulating to my eyes. I remember one night in a little beautiful little cabin I lived in up in the woods, I decided to turn off the lights to walk around because I couldn't sleep my house and in the dark. And as I was walking around, I realized and counted that there were 26 little lights on all over the house. There's the smoke detector. There was the computer light. There was the light in the plug in the bathroom. There was the time on the microwave and on the stove. All of our electronics have little lights on them. And believe it or not, the lizard brain sees that. So I was just shocked. So I went around the next day and covered them up so that I would have absolute darkness, which is what we really need. In other words, if your eyes open up for even just a moment in your night and you have a bedside alarm that's lit up, that one little bit of light tells your lizard brain that it might be time to get up. So cover those little things up. That'll help. If you read and listen to just about anybody about sleep, the recommendation for perfect sleep is to sleep in a dark, cool room. I love to have the window open so that I can hear outside and feel a breeze, and I like it dark. My recommendation is do the best you can to get at least 8 hours of sleep, uninterrupted if possible. Sometimes that's not possible. I wake up at night, walk around, go back to bed, or get on my vibration table and just relax. It's not that I'm not sleepy. There's somewhere in my brain this active little monster that wants to be awake and ask questions and have panic attacks. We have to train our brains to calm down when we sleep. So it's important to pay attention to what happens in your day and to resolve all your stress before you go to bed. Think about it. Find resolution in it and sleep. There are so many ways to help you with your sleep that have nothing to do with taking drugs. I'm not saying it isn't useful, but I always want to know, why am I not sleeping well? I try a lot of different things. Just retraining your brain to relax in the evenings can help you have really good sleep. Listening to meditations, listening to music, reading a good book. Those are all things that will help to bring all that noise down in your head so that you can get better sleep. So how does someone over 65 build community? That's a really great question, because as we know, community shifts and changes our entire life. Some ideas are to join activity groups, hiking or biking or walking groups, even book clubs, and attend seminars. That's where you can meet people. Say yes to social invitations, coffee offers, offers to drink wine, event shares. Don't automatically decline. Engage in real communication. Talk about life in general. Not complaining and whining, but actually communicating about the world we live in today. Talk about the present moment, the beauty of where you are. For example, in my yoga group, every once in a while, we all go out. We'll go out, meet for coffee. But mostly, we're there to support each other in the group during the time of the class, before and after, and making sure that we're all present. If one of us doesn't show up for a while, we call that person or we talk to the instructor. And it feels really good when you come back and they say, "Where have you been? We were worried about you." To know that you actually meant something within the community. Community is just more than one person talking about life in general. No complaining, no whining, and actually communicating about the world we live in. This is how we build community. And it may not be big, but it's powerful, it's compassionate, it's comforting. I just want to remind you to give yourself permission to age differently than everyone else around you. Give yourself permission to try new things. Give yourself permission to move your body in ways that work for you. Give yourself permission to prep food simply. Give yourself permission to step away from stress. Give yourself permission to sleep through the night. And give yourself permission to build real community. Because here's the truth. Modern life may have been designed to make us sick, but we can opt out. Every day we get to choose comfortable or active, garbage or real food, reaction or awareness, isolation or connection. The choice is always ours. You don't have to be perfect at all 5. Pick one. Start there. I started with 10 minutes on a treadmill at 1.5 speed, and look where it led. Small steps, real results. The choice is yours. It's your turn. What will you try first?
If this video helped you, please like, comment, and share with someone else who might benefit from it. Your support helps me to create more content like this. If you are interested in any of the tools that I mentioned, the vibration table, the treadmill, or any health products, you can find links for them in the description below. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases, but I only recommend products I personally use and believe in. Thanks for watching, and remember, small steps, real results.